So a very good evening to all my friends here. I think it's a pleasure being in the company of, senior Augustus colleagues like Dr. Muscati and dear friend Kumar and my fellow associates, Dr. Anjani, Piyush and Neeraj Manchanda. We've all had very good times together. COVID times, good or bad, I don't know. By the time I finish my presentation, let the audience decide whether it was good for or not. But one thing I must tell you, for me, it was a very, very pleasant experience during the COVID close down. I rediscovered my skills of cooking in the kitchen, spending more time with the family. So I think all of us, we use something or the other and gain something from it. So is my slide visible?
Yes.
Okay. So I have two duties today, actually. One is to what are the best practices which we should be doing now since the COVID lockdown is over or about to get over. And second is the C-19 has crashed everything. How to revive and how to revive fast. So before I go there, I'll be talking mainly about the mindset changes which the doctor, the team, and the patient needs to go through before we start on the journey. I will be mentioning a lot of changes and incorporations which we've done in our practice. I'll just touch them briefly in case the audience wants any more detailed information of all the practices which I have adopted in my center. Feel free to mail us at info@sharpsight.in. I'll again repeat it at the end of the session. We'll mail you the complete brochure of how we are practicing, how a small practice, a middle practice, and a large practice will go. Okay, now all this is possible not because of me. I am just the face of this beautiful organization, this fantastic team I have. I'm just the face of it. They are the ones who do the work, and I'm just the loudspeaker here. So, first of all, victorious warriors win their wars in their mind. We as surgeons have to first of all win this war in our head that COVID is over. Even if it is not, we need to start telling ourselves that it is over. Only then we will be able to shake ourselves out of that slumber and come out of that fear. I just have a very small, beautiful video. I want the audience to
The voice is.
Can you see the video?
Yes.
Voice is.
I'll just start from this.
The voice video is missing. Please set the volume of the voices of the video is missing.
So I guess the message is loud and clear. What I'm trying to tell us is that we all should be courageous now. The worst will be over when we start telling ourselves and our teams that the worst is going to be over. So when we win this war in our head, it will translate onto our teams. It will translate onto the public perception. All we need to do is follow the protocols which are being set by our AIOS and whatever adapt to best to us. And as again repeating here, it is not the strongest in the species which survives. It is the most adaptable. So as I would just repeat again, there is a change in the practice scenario. There is a paradigm shift, and only people who adapt fast to this change will survive. And if we have to adapt to this change, it has to be fast. Now, for the teams and our patients, all we need to tell them is all is well. We will take care of you. We will follow all the protocols and everything will slowly fall in line. Now, how do we plan at Sharpsight what we've done to plan to win this war? We cannot, as I said, win the war if the war is not won in our mind. So first of all is we need to win in our mind. We have to believe in ourselves that yes, we and our team will together be able to fight this crisis of lockdown, post-lockdown, reduce patient inflows, extra protocols, extra stress on the system. We will be able to go that. Next is you have to win over our own team. We need to set protocols and processes which make sure our team realizes that whatever we are doing is for their safety, and their safety and their care is of our prime importance. And most important is we need to lead from the front. I can't be sitting at home and wanting my doctors and my team to be running the show, whereas I want to be in the safety of my own cocoon. So we have to be out there in front with the team and doing the clinics and OPDs and surgeries. Then third is winning the enemy. The enemy here is the corona. How do we win it? By putting strict protocols and systems in place in our clinics, which make sure that the rate of infectivity and we are not cross-infecting people. And the most important is that also the war being won and the war being fought to be seen by the patients. It should be there in the public space. Let the patients know how hard you're working to keep their workspace, our work safe space. The moment these four wars are won, we will see our practice starts bouncing back. So how do we do it? We regularly share these messages on our platform with our patients saying, look at the way India's done. You know, it has taken 110 days for 1 lakh cases to get collected, whereas compared to the world, number of active cases. These slides are shared with our own team members on daily basis. We share it with our patients on WhatsApp groups, just to tell them that we in India are doing far better. Let them not get scared by the way media paints the picture. So what would be the objective? First of all is to jumpstart to a near normal practice, to minimize risk of exposure and illness and spread of disease to the staff, ourselves and the patients. Most important, to instill confidence in the team and public at large, and to revamp the systems and processes so that we get back to the shape. Now, protocols, what are the major areas of protocols we have set? First of all is the appointment systems. What have we done in the appointment systems? What should we do in the appointment systems so that we bounce back fast without extra load on the system and without causing much trouble to the system or the patients? Then is team alignment and training. Then reception and registration process systems. Then OPD protocols and management of OPD in patients. OT protocols, and then patient awareness and education and reassurance programs. Once I will be touching all of them briefly, but as I said, if you want more details, we'll be happy to give you details on the mail. Now, teams work and makes the dreams work. You could have an excellent team, but if they're not aligned to the goal and the objectivity, this is what you would land with. So we have regular scheduled meetings with the team, alignment, telling them what is the objective of this particular exercise we are doing, why should we do it, what would be the end product, and we take feedbacks from them. And if you say, sir, this is not working, this is wasting time, we go back to the drawing board and do that. Now, HR, human resource safety, is the most important step as me as a leader or as a team leader in the group. It rides on discipline. There has to be a perfect discipline. Make sure that everybody understands the protocols you have set and the reason why they're there. So basics, few protocols is we asked all of the staff to have an Arogya Setu, installed app in their phones. We tell them that, if they're not feeling well, they need not come to the office. They need to inform the HR. There are some people who are not able to get transport. We are providing them pickup and drop facilities in the hospital ambulances. We are issuing ID passes so that the police doesn't stop them. We are doing repeated drills in the spare time when there are no patients so that they are totally ingrained in the system of how to see patients. Public transport is to be avoided. These are instructions to the staff. Sanitization of the hands the moment they get off. They are all given disposable sanitizers with them. They get off the bus, they sanitize their hands. They enter the hospital, they sanitize mobile phones with alcohol spray, their mobile phones, their keys. If we are encouraging them to use Paytm or other resources and avoid cash payments just because of being infected. They are supposed to keep their lunchbox, handbags in lockers or in one designated place so that they don't get it into the whole organization. Personal belongings are kept at the reception. At lunch break, normally they would take lunch breaks together. I have a team of around say 25 optometrists. So they would probably want to go in lunch breaks of 10 batches. We are discouraging them. We are asking them to take breaks in lunch, sit separately. We are asking them to get their own disposable glasses and plates and water bottles. Though the water is available, we are ushering them to wear full sleeve clothes. Patient flow management, according to the patient flow management and the appointments which we have, we are actually positioning their duties and number of staff required. One great thing which we've done is we are encouraging patient only to come with appointment. Anybody who's coming without appointment would be asked to wait. So we are sending out SMSs to patients that take an appointment and come. Your waiting will be the least, and if you come in without appointment, you will have more waiting. Now, patient-related communication, this is a beautiful video. So what we have been doing during the lockdown, we've been sending these videos to patients to just be in connect with them. And in these videos, we are not talking about eye care and what we do and what we are good at. We are talking about compassion, what they should be doing in their lockdown period, how they should be taking care of their health, what are the kind of things they should be doing. And this is not just one video. We have numerous series of videos which were actually sent to these patients. And we are also telling that we are available on WhatsApp for consultation without any charge. So what this has done is, even during the lockdown period, we are not losing a contact with our patients. They feel that here is an organization which is still bothered about us. We are sharing recipes of food. We are talking about singing classes, music portals, recommending movies on these portals, so that the patients during the lockdown is connected with us. When we send an SMS, we are telling the patient to get a mask for themselves. We are telling them to avoid bringing children. At the entry, they are asked to fill forms, COVID-19 consent form. So just in the SMS, they are priorly informed that these things will be done. So when they come, it is not as a shocker to them. So what it does for me is it creates a chain of professional approach to the patient. The patient knows that he's going to an organization which is bothered about his safety and the team's safety. So these are few snapshots. So we've made a waiting line outside the hospital premises in the parking, where the patient comes, fills the COVID form, he's sanitized, temperature checked, and then after that, he enters the main gate where he's welcomed by people, form is collection. Again, the questions are asked again in repetition, and then his hands are sanitized, and then he's let inside the organization. In the organization, again, if you notice, we keep a distance between the reception and the patient waiting. The patient again deposits the form, and then he goes to a waiting area. In the waiting area, we maintain a space between each patient, and the patient goes to the optometrist. We see the optometrist maintains an adequate distance recommended and has all questionnaires and all questions asked to the patient. Then the patient goes to the doctor waiting room. This is how we are maintaining the sanitization. Every 3 hours, we do one sanitization of one floor, give 20-30 minutes of soak time, and then the patients are let into that floor. We are cleaning the slit lamps, all with 70% alcohol, the slit lamps and all the surfaces where the doctor is sitting or the patient is sitting. Before the patient enters the optom room, he's again urged to do sanitization of his hands. He's made sure that he has a mask. In case he doesn't have a mask, he's given a mask free of cost, a 3-layer mask to the patient, and then he's let in. And every few 45 minutes, patient sees an intense scrubbing and sanitization exercise in the premises. Now, what this has done for my organization is patient goes back knowing that if I come to this place, this is one place at least from where I will not get infected, because the organization is very much concerned about their own safety and my safety. So what it is doing for us is it is letting the patient now call up to take appointments, because the word is spreading that yes, SharpSight is doing an excellent work at making protocols and making sure that the protocols are doing. These are the patients who will, these people will handle the files. We are not even handling the files manually. The papers are taken into the own pink colored files, and then these files are handled. We don't handle the paper ourselves. We have a complete digital platform with an EMR. In the pre-op room, there is a spacing between each patient. And as I said, now fans in the OPD, what do? We are trying to discourage use of air conditioners, keeping all the doors open. So this will reduce the fomites transmission. Patient is washing his hands. Doctor is scrubbing his hands after each wash. We have put signboards that avoid lifts. Only patients who are vulnerable should be avoiding using the lifts. In case there is a patient with redness and conjunctivitis, he's put straight to the red eye clinic, where one doctor with a complete PP is examining him and sending him out of the system immediately. There are no attendants allowed in the doctor's room or the optom's room until unless the patient is vulnerable or handicapped or is a little child. We put 0.5% sodium hypochlorite solution exposure every 15-20 minutes after a gap of 1 to 2 hours, depending on the load in that room. Reception, as I said, will send the patient straight, red-eye patients. Now, beautiful thing is, while the patients are waiting in the waiting room, they are not left alone. We have educational videos running in the waiting rooms. We have our PCTs, which are patient caretakers, young boys and girls who are trained. They keep giving the drill of sanitization at home, sanitization in the clinic. They keep repeating these things to the patients. So while the patients are waiting, because the waiting times are longer than normal now, they are very busy. They get to learn a lot of stuff about hand hygiene, fruit cleaning, going to the market. So these our team people keep educating them either on a television or something. Now, these are the kind of videos which are running in the waiting room, both Hindi and English. Now, these are interesting videos. They are not very long, 20 seconds clip on different topics. Now, next time a patient comes, he remembers these protocols. He remembers to get his own mask. He remembers that, he has to do these things. So while he's seeing that, all the other patients also seeing these notices are realizing that this organization takes this safety very seriously. Now, once this is done, we've also started a social media campaign telling the patient. Now, if you see, it says, "Fir se shuru kijiye, ek nayi shuruaat," which are trying to tell the people that, yes, this is an organization maintaining on protocols and everything is good and we are taking good care of yourself. We are not wanting to dilate the patients there in case a patient needs a dilatation. As SMS is sent with the dosage and the patient comes with 1 drop instilled. 70% alcohol spray for all instruments which are to be touched by the doctor. Each time he keeps it back. Documents are to be avoided to be touched. I'm just going fast because these things are available in a document in case you request us at the email address info@sharpsight.in. We'll mail you the complete protocol for all kinds of practices. Infomercials. Now, the golden dictum is for all the staff. Everything is contaminated until clean in front of your own eyes. So if the doctor wants to touch something and he has not seen it being cleaned, it has to be cleaned before he touches it. The same goes for the whole staff. Slit lamps, OCT, angiography, trial frames, everything is cleaned after the patient walks out. So what we do is we give a gap of 4 minutes after one consultation and before the next patient walks in, there's a gap of 4 minutes when the whole area is scrubbed and the patient is given a complete clean area. Now, very important part is the financial jugglery. We are also crashed on our finances. So these are a few tips. If we have a personal relationship with the vendors, we can give part payments. We have to ensure while we are looking at less revenues, we also have to look at, is there any recovery due from the government panels or TPAs? We need to put teams on that to recover that. We have to talk to companies to defer CMCs and EMIs to the banks. The staff, we are at SharpSight have not offlaid even one of our staff till now. The promise we made to the staff is we will not lay off anybody, but what we are doing is staffs which are not being used. Let us say the marketing people are sitting inside the clinic. So they're helping with the COVID protocol. They're help the patient, explain the protocols, clean the places. So everybody is utilized back into the system. Advertising budget has been totally cut off because there's no use advertising right now. We are offering EMI options and bank EMI options to patients who want surgery, but they are short on cash. Social media is an effective, cost-effective method. Salary structure, we've offered salary bump downs to our doctors, to our staffs, except to the basic lower staff. We are also offering food and daily requirements for the very low staff and peons, offering them flour, atta, dal, sugar, oil to take care of this part. We're doing cost cutting. Whichever floor is not being used, ACs are not being switched on. So I'll just jump fast. Now coming to the OT protocols. All surgeons in my practice, this is what we are doing. We are wearing double 995 mask and a 3-layered mask on top, impermeable gown and a cotton gown beneath that, complete shoe cover and cap, protective eye shield. But if the surgeon is not comfortable wearing a protective eye shield during a microscope, he's given a choice. We have UV lights between surgical breaks. Patient walks in wearing a sterile gown always. And the patient also has a shoe cover, a cap, and a new set of 3-layer masks handed outside the theater. Povidone iodine, fumigation regularly, and air conditioning in the OT complex is only prior to the surgery or in between then the breaks and autoclaving is happening. We have inlet at the air circulation at the HEPA filters. We put UV lights. This is how we take care of that. These are the few investigations we are going through. We are not asking for COVID test. These are the investigations we are going for. And I think my presentation is nearly over. So I'll say, manzil mil hi jayegi, bhatakte hue hi sahi. मंजिल मिल ही जाएगी भटकते हुए ही सही गुमराह तो वो होंगे जो घर से निकले ही नहीं. So let us friends all start our practices and start on the journey and getting it everything kicked back. So a bend in the road is not an end of the road. Unless you fail to make a turn, it is going to be an end of the road. Thank you.